Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Quarantine Etiquette with the Royal Butler and the Royal Dachshunds, episode 22. Silver cleaning. That's one of the most popular requests that's coming in at the moment. People want to know how to clean their silver, from tureens to cutlery, all sorts of items. So therefore, I'm going to do a quick demonstration with the Royal Dachshunds on the best, the quickest, the simplest of ways to clean your silver, but still in a traditional manner. I've done a very quick change into most suitable wear for cleaning silver, and I'm now going to talk you through exactly what you need, and then we will begin the demonstration. For cleaning the silver, you want a bucket of warm water with some washing liquid in there, which will help with cleaning the silver, and you also will need a few glass cloths, as we've got here. That's also buffing the silver, and you've also got your silver foam and your silver dip just there, and the silver nearby that you're going to clean. It's a good idea to also put a towel or a blanket underneath the bucket just to protect it from the water. And over here is some silver that's already been cleaned, and I have wrapped it in cling film. This is an excellent way of storing silver, and it also stops the oxygen from getting to the silver. So there you go, cling film is how you should be storing your silver when you're not using it. Another way to protect your silver is using green baize. Now here I've got some here. If you visit any grand home in the land, castle, stately home, once the lockdown's over, and see their safes, you'll notice that they've actually got this all round the walls. They're lined with this fabric, and also on the shelves, and that's to protect the silver. Again, it stops the oxygen getting to the silver, and especially if it's airtight, which safes normally are. You can buy this online, and then you can use it for your own cutlery, and you can even get little pouches, so you can put your cutlery in a little pouch, which is very smart. If you don't have that, line your drawers with the baize, and then you can also put a piece on top, and that will do just as good of a job as in a safe. Now we turn to the items we're going to use to clean the silver. We have got the silver foam and the silver dip. Now if I quickly let you look at the silver foam, I'll just take the lid off, and this is the foam that you use once you've dipped the silver. This is just to give it its final clean, and here we've got the silver dip. I'll just take the lid off this. Now a little bit of health and safety: when using silver dip, make sure you've got something on your hands to protect them, because it can be slightly harmful to the skin, and it's better to play safe than sorry. So I'm off to find some marigolds or some plastic gloves. Now, Sarah, are you paying attention? Yes? Good. So here we have a fork that has got tarnished on the tins. This would have been caused possibly by eggs or fish due to the acidity. Now you can of course use the silver foam to buff this out with a bit of elbow grease, but if you use the silver dip, then all you have to do is dip it in, mix it around the solution. You might need to repeat this process once or twice, but let's see how we got on, and then remove it, and the tarnish has gone as if by magic. And then the next part of this process is to mix it in the water, and then you're going to get the foam. And the idea of this is to get quite a generous amount of the foam. Don't be frightened of using this, it's not going to do any harm to the fork. If anything, it's going to give it a really good shine. And then you're going to just rub it all over the forks, as well as the tins. You're going to rub it all over very quickly. Now of course this you would normally do in your kitchen, but as it's such a glorious day and we've got lots of birdsong, I thought it was quite nice to come into the garden and do this. I also get a bit of a tan, which is quite unusual for me. Now ladies and gentlemen, I can hear you screaming at your screens, where can I get these products? Quite simply, you can find them in your hardware stores, and of course you can get them online. Now I've finished cleaning the fork, so I'm now going to buff it and wait till you see the shine. How about that? Now as you saw with the forks, I'm going to show you how to do the spoon. The spoon that I'm going to demonstrate is quite badly tarnished, so we'll do it in two halves just so you can see how bad this is. So here you can see half of it done, and I'm now going to dip the other side. And now we're going to use some foam just to give it a nice shine. And there we have a beautifully polished teaspoon. So next we've got a 7 dish. I'm going to demonstrate how to clean this. It's the same process, but this is silver plated, which has obviously got a layer of silver on top of the metal. It does wear down. You do get markings. You're not going to get those off, but we can still have a go at giving it a good buff up. Here we're going to put the dip on, which will help get rid of the toughest parts of the grime. Now, with this, you're not a magician, so you're not going to get it into the pot. Therefore, we're going to use the sponge and we're going to apply the solution directly onto the dish. And for these little bits, you can use a toothbrush because that gets into those tiny little areas that the sponge might not get into. I'm pleased to see that all you Dachshunds are taking note of what I'm doing, and I expect the silver to look absolutely immaculate in the coming weeks. Fantastic. And then we're going to use the foam, which will obviously give it its wonderful shine. And then we'll buff it up with a glass cloth to get the perfect finish. And there we have a beautifully cleaned 7 dish. And of course, remember, it's very old. It's got a few marks and tarnishes on it, but nothing wrong with that. I always say that, you know, I'm slightly marked and slightly tarnished, but I look fabulous. So you obviously approve of how clean that dish looks, and I'm guessing that now you want to use that for your breakfast and your dinners, yes? Unfortunately, darling, you're not quite royal enough for that yet. Right, so are you now going to have a go at cleaning that spoon? I think that's a nice easy thing for you to do. I'll use the solution and you just give it a buff, yes? Yes, okay. Yes, give it a good rub. Now, Sarah, could you put the silver in the base and just wrap it for me? Oh yes, yep, that's very good. She does try. Mona, would you like to have a go at putting your little Daxy spoon in the base as well? Do you want to wrap it up? Shimbe, are you enjoying this lesson? Yes, is it good? Do you think you can now go and clean all your silver? I know you've got quite a lot of silver in your bedroom. You could give it all a nice buff.